Let me bring in Congressman Todd Young, a Republican from Indiana and a member of the Ways and Means Committee. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So on Friday, you will get a chance to ask the IRS chief about this. What's the first question you have?
Well, I think, who knew what and when did they know it? You pretty much summarized it well. We need to get to the bottom of that. Who directed that this occurred, if anyone, or instead was this some sort of spontaneous response to the desires of folks in the Cincinnati offices or Washington or California? We now find that there does seem to be, according to the Washington Post this morning, some directives coming out of Washington. So we're going to ask some more questions about that. Exactly what was reported to Congress and at what time is also of concern. As you indicated, the commissioner of the IRS did testify before Congress, indicating that there was no validity or substance to charges that there was a targeting of conservative groups. We now know that that is not the case in light of the IRS's public apology in this regard. And so we're going to ask some more questions about exactly when the IRS commissioner knew. And then finally, we need to find out whether this targeting was a result of partisanship, which is the fear of many, or instead whether it was managerial, ministerial incompetence, either of which are unacceptable, but they'll lead us different places in terms of the criminality that might be involved.
Well, one of the things the president did say yesterday is we need to get to the bottom of this, and it sounds like you're with him at least on the fact that there are a lot of questions yet that we just don't know the answers to. So have some conservatives like George Will, who are comparing this to Watergate, to Solyndra, to Fast and Furious. Even the comparisons to Watergate were made to Obama's birth certificate. Are we going too far? Are we jumping ahead with those kinds of accusations?
Well, I heard you mention the word Watergate as well. I'm not prepared to invoke Watergate as yet. Again, we're in the information gathering stages. Most of the information that we do have coming out is a result of some information provided to our congressional investigators by the Treasury Inspector General. The Treasury IG is going to produce their report. We'll be holding hearings in Ways and Means, as well as the Government Oversight Committee. And the president has to make a decision. Does he want to be more forcefully involved in this and appoint a special prosecutor so that there's no appearance of impropriety, which I think is important.
Are you saying you think a special prosecutor should be appointed in this case?
We don't know yet. We'll see what the Inspector General report and our congressional hearings produces. But if, in fact, it produces some very disturbing and troubling things, it may, in fact, be appropriate for the president to appoint a special prosecutor.
We've also been following, you've tweeted a lot about this, but on Twitter, a constituent also asked you about what's going on with the Department of Justice secretly looking into these Associated Press records. So let me get your reaction to that as well.
Well, also very serious. This invokes First Amendment concerns, as does the situation related to the IRS. But admittedly, it's hard to follow all these either scandals or screw-ups, however we ultimately characterize them, between IRS, the Associated Press, Health and Human Services, applying seemingly pressure to insurance companies to give to progressive groups that will help implement the exchanges. We're dealing with a lot here, Benghazi, but listen, this is also something we need to look into. It's being looked into probably nowhere more fiercely than among our Washington, D.C. press corps.
Congressman Todd Young, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let me play